As this crowd rolled into U.S. Bank Stadium, they were bundled up, jackets and scarves, downright cold outside on this November evening. But all good here inside as we welcome you to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tonight, it's on to Week 10 already, and we've got a good one in store between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
First and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
On first down, McGill. He's got a man, complete. And he steps out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35. A huge play there right off the bat. 41 yards. That's some early fireworks on the first play from scrimmage.
The last fireworks I saw, July 4th, okay? Here they are celebrating the start of this game the exact same way. Explosive right out of the gate.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
Line of scrimmage, the 31, as they line up 2nd and 10. To throw again, McGill. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading.
Complete to Austin Eckler. Again, 11 on the play. And the Steelers first down.
Opening minute, and already a trip to the red zone. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now a give, running left is Harris. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Looking to throw. McGill. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Edwards. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
On third down, here's Harris. And they're going to lose some on this play. Big knock back to the 18. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up fourth. Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. They start the drive with Cook. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Again, it's Cook. And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Vikings!
Earlier in the week when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week, yet he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we've wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
To throw on 2nd down, McGill, and his throw here's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back. Unsuccessfully.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw. McGill. He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
From the gun on third down, McGill able to find his man. It's Pickens. Down inside the 10. And in for the Steelers. Touchdown. George Pickens. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to move back in front. Boswell good with the extra point. And the lead is now 10-7. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick turnaround game like this?
It certainly is, because you don't get time to work on the issues that you've had throughout the season that cause you to have the record that you're having. You can't really get those set. So now you're trying to minimize those and maximize what you've been doing well. And I remember a game recently where one of the assistant coaches said to the head coach, forget our running back rotation. This guy has a hot hand, and they rode him to a victory. Those are things you have to look out for in games like this.
And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43. The Vikings at 6-3 on the year. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
Off the play fake, Mills. He'll dump this off to Cook. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
On 1st and 10, Mills. This will be incomplete. Oh, a dream chance for a D lineman, but he couldn't pull that one in.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
On 2nd and 10, Mills. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. 10-7 our score after 1. Right here. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Mills to throw for it on 4th. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. That one good for 17 yards on 4th. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. 1st down.
60 Vikings, 60 Vikings, 19 tight, 19 tight.
On play action, Mills. And it's intercepted. Taking it right down Broadway. The 30, 10, 5, and he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown.
They were in a very good position to come up with a go-ahead score there. A really good drive. Instead, it turns into 6 points going the other way. Psychologically, I don't know what that's going to do to them.
So as a coach, you're looking at that as at least a 10-point swing, right? Because they had the field goal in their back pocket.
They certainly did, and you're right. At least a 10-point swing, maybe more.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Here we go.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25.
19.
Looking to throw is Mills. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles. 18 Rattlers.
Here's Mills. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. When those extra defenders on the field, dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 18. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
Throwing on 1st down, McGill. He's got this to Pickens. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Off play action, McGill. And he He's left with no option here but to throw it away. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again. McGill. Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
A gain of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down.
Okay, ready.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. McGill. And that is incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
Boswell's kick is good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 112 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Play action now. Mills. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Rasul Douglas picks it. And the Steelers are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one. And they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated. So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. McGill. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw. McGill. And that is incomplete.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 15. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Out to his left. He'll get this complete to Rondale Moore. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That's a gain of 13 as they try to whittle away at this 13-point deficit.
Now, how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. Third down, here's a run by Cook. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. 120 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in his 1st half. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. 1st level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
On 2nd and 1, Mills. And this is thrown to the sideline. No receiver in the area, though, and that's going to bring out a flag. We saw it, too. Nobody in the vicinity of that throw, and that earns him the penalty.
Yeah, you got to at least get it close enough to one of your own guys in order to dodge the penalty.
So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call.
19 tight, 19 tight.
Mills now. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now a timeout coming here defensively. As on 4th down, may as well make him punt it.
For the field goal of 44 yards.
And his kick is good. And that cuts into the deficit. It's now 20-10. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football. It's something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the 2nd half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they'll have time for one play. There's 2 seconds on the clock. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out on this first half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they trail here to begin the second half. What's going to be a key for them to get back in the game?
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them because we always talk about turnovers. They had 2 of them in the first half, and once you start talking about if you have 3, 4, or 5, you know it's beyond difficult to try and win a football game with that. Those have to be eliminated. If they take care of the ball, they've still got a shot.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. He's going to wind up and air it out. He's got a man complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 49 yards.
And that looked almost to be a case of, quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown.
Brevin Jordan.
A 16-yard touchdown.
And the Vikings have cut it back within a score.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is down to a field goal. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes the return. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change. Because otherwise, that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Looking to throw on second down. McGill. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, I want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words every time we hear that. things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
It's a gain of 34.
But they didn't ease into that drive right out of the turnover. They go for the big shot downfield and hit it. A lot of teams have that opportunity.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with career touchdown number 91. He joins a group that includes Tony Dorsett and Isaac Bruce, among others. And the Vikings have scored again in this third quarter, this time to move out in front. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
So the offense back out now, coming off its first interception of the game the last time out, trying to reestablish some momentum here, Charles. But they're trailing defensively. Maybe these guys smelling the blood in the water a little bit.
Yeah, I think that they probably are, but what they need to do right now is just make sure they don't force the action too much themselves. They've got them on the run a little bit. You just want to be in a position where if they make another mistake, you're there to capitalize on it and take it away from them.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. McGill. And this throw will be intercepted. Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Should their woes on offense continue, that's the second pick thrown here in the third quarter.
And we know it was ill-advised, but that was an opportunity to help them get back into the game. Instead, he throws another interception, and now their task is even tougher.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Now, they did get a little gain on this play, but all in all, a nice job defensively against the touch pass. They were able to string it out towards the sideline and never let him get the corner and turn it upfield for a bigger chunk of yardage.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Short down at the 28-yard line. A 4-yard gain brings up 4th down and less than a yard.
Here we go, here we go.
They'll try and run for it. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. Thought they might throw the football with a little chunk that they had remaining on 4th down, but they ran it, they got it.
And the reason they were able to get it done, he ran that play with conviction, didn't he? Understood he would get a little bit of help from his friends up front, but it was really on him to go ahead and make the power move and get it done, and that he did.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
On 2nd down, Mills again. This one brought in by Jefferson. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Play fake, Mills. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6.
Matthew Wright for the field goal. A 34-yard attempt.
And his kick is indeed good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the defense able to force the interception, and the offense working their way to field goal range and able to get 3 out of it.
Yeah, and give them credit for that. They took the ball, maneuvered it downfield, and while they couldn't get exactly what they wanted, which was a touchdown, they did get 3 points out of it. So they paid off what the defense gave them. Both sides would be thrilled with that.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Their lead, they have seen it evaporate completely after such a good first half. They've been shut down here in the third quarter.
Searching for answers, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get back to where they were before. The big part of it is that sometimes you don't have to go exotic now. You go back to basics. Being able to run the football, string some things together, some effective passes, try and get a rhythm established again, and try and get back in the lead.
Back in the lead, like you said, back to the basics. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Man, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have is chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Sanchez. And he will be taken down, and a big pickup there on what's going to be. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. Harris running straight ahead. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively if you're on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smacked down on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Back to throw. McGill. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. And that really pushes him back. A loss of 9. And now it's 3rd and goal after the sack. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing.
And this is going to be intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
156 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29.
They go play action. Mills.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete.
Finding room at midfield.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
Wow, that ball gets nudged for him, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home, the next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. First down, here's the run with Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Mills to throw it.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Brevin Jordan.
His second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year.
And the Vikings look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here this 4th quarter.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead now up to 14. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
Now here's a throw that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They're giving those short little routes. Tackled him in bounds, too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
He's going to let this one go deep. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
And the Vikings are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Mills. Got his man complete over the middle. That's more. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. McGill. Flush to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. They go quickly here out to Moore. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Up the middle, it's Cook. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. On 3rd down, here's Mills. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Brevin Jordan from 10 yards out. And the Vikings look like they're about to put an end to their 2-game losing streak as they add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead down to 3 touchdowns in 21. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And now they'll stop play here, at least momentarily. A member of the Vikings in some discomfort after that last play. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
That incompletion brings us one step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Operating from the gun, McGill. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but he falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I'm looking at this one with my defensive eyeglasses on because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker covering him and thought he had a mismatch? But the way they can run nowadays, not necessarily so. They gave it a shot downfield. That one incomplete.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. That one looks like he'll throw here. His throw caught at about the 5. And the Vikings are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So for the Vikings, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll get the weekend off now as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns.